Your Holiness, thank you for taking this time. Can you explain us a little bit about the importance of the pilgrimage?
The pilgrimage is supposed to be giving some impressions that will last forever, not only in this life, but lives to come. And that impression meant to be inspiring you in terms of spiritual practice. And through spiritual practice, it will benefit your material life, the day-to-day life. This is what the exact meaning or the idea of doing pilgrimage.
Some of the people that went with you, they were telling us that sometimes they were experiencing things that were not totally physical. And is this related to the different levels of teaching, like the Sutra and the Tantra and the Essence teaching?
Yes, yes, it is. It is fully depends on the person who you are talking about, you are talking to. The person who has lower level means in terms of understanding, then they have a completely different experience from the people who has a higher level of understanding. So those people who doesn't have any understanding, for instance like a common being, will have very sort of flat experience, or maybe almost no experience.
Like, for example, a beginner, what would be the difference with an advanced practitioner? Like, how did they experience that?
Advanced practitioners, they're supposed to be doing pilgrimage with the understanding of being the things that you see are the reflection of your own nature. So they will physically do the pilgrimage, but mentally they will rest in themselves, in their nature. So they won't be mentally wandering around. Whereas in our case, like a common being, we will wandering mentally and physically both. So that will be different.
Zang.
Here.
Zang.
Here. And can you tell us a little bit about Gyalwang? What is the meaning, the importance of that place?
The Gyalwang is first of all, it's of course it's a beautiful place, and secondly, it is spiritually speaking, it is true also that it's a very beautiful in the sense of blessings, and also conjunction with the practice of Vajrayana. It is very special place, especially to do with the Guru Padmasambhava. Guru Padmasambhava, he spent a lot of time up there doing all his activities, and he blessed all the rocks and the mountains and valley, even the trees and everything, I think. This is the reason why we can feel a lot better when you reach there in terms of spiritual practice and inspirational mind. And not only that, you can see many mantras self-arising, such as Om Ahom Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hum. It's very clearly marked, and it is coming now clearer and clearer year by year. But and also not only that, there are many syllables of Vajrayana, the mantras, are coming everywhere, and of course, as I said before, there are many kind of people. Some of them cannot see as many as we practitioners can see, and amongst us also we have a lot of different kind of practitioners and students. Some of them can see more, some of them can see very little, very less.
Are the mantras written in Dakini language or regular?
That's true. Some of them are in Dakini's language, some of them are in human language, like in Sanskrit, and some of them are in different languages, because this is meant to be, spiritual practice meant to be practiced by different kind of beings, not only Tibetans or Sanskrit people. This can be practiced by anybody.
Can you explain a little bit about the termas?
Terma is an interesting thing, and it's quite difficult to comprehend also from the relative level of understanding. But terma is a little bit of, I would say, a little bit of miracle, if you want. But it's not a miracle. It is just the reality of one of the reality face of the phenomena. What is happening with terma is that, for instance, Guru Padmasambhava taught the teachings, and then his consort, Yeshe Tsogyal, or one of his disciple and main disciple like a Virochana, they sort of, they wrote it down from their understanding perfectly what Guru Padmasambhava taught, with the blessings, etc. So put them in a treasure box and buried in different places. And of course it will not be rotten, and it will be very safe for years and years and generations and generations. And then Guru Padmasambhava but give blessings to one of his main disciple who were there, and say, you will be the one who is going to open this box after so many years, and you will be opening in so and so date and so month, and in that kind of period, and he will predict everything. He will predict everything. You will be born as so and so person, with so and so hair color, so and so activities, so and so family. All these things Guru Padmasambhava will write down that. And then he will be, of course, taking a lot of rebirth, many rebirths, and then he will come back to that point, and then he will be opening this treasure. The point, the main point why the terma has to be there, the teaching wise, is that more fresh, because it's not a sort of there will not be a lot of danger of mixing with contaminations, etc., etc. For instance, other teachings, like common teachings, are like coming from the saint to saint and saint to saint. How many saints? Like 80, 90, hundreds over saints you have to come. Lineage is so long, so nobody knows what happened once in a while. What happened? Maybe lineage was a little bit broken or cracked or whatever. It can be happen, anything. But in a terma, dharma that is coming from terma has very fresh influence of Guru Padmasambhava. In other words, it is very hot. The warmth is there. So it's a very fresh. So the lineage is Guru Padmasambhava and Yeshe Tsogyal, and then this guy, and then you yourself. So it is very fresh. So due to the freshnesses of the teaching has tremendous power and energy to accelerate your understanding. This is a very good thing to have. And of course, this what I talked about is only terma that linked with teachings. But then there is a lot of terma of like items of terma, such as vajras and swords and belts and statues and etc. Even they can. I have heard that there is tables and hats and all these things. The Guru Padmasambhava's hat also was terma, and recently, not recently, but maybe around 100 years ago, somebody found his hat also. The Dindal Dorje found his hat also. His hat is enormous hat, it's very unbelievable, because Guru Padmasambhava, of course, is an oversized being, and his hat is just too big for a normal human being to wear it. So it's, of course, something like that. But the teaching is more inspirable.
You think that in J.Gyalson there's a terma hidden still?
Oh yes, this is what I believe very strongly. And also I felt that really there will be a guy or a person who will find the terma quite near future from there. I hope and I really pray for that. That will be a day.
Have you received some visions or dreams? Or
this is what I felt, and not a dream, but just some sort of a vision. And also I can see a lot of seals on different places in the rock, in many places, kind of seal. So that is meant to be a seal of Guru Padmasambhava or J.Gyalson, who did the seal. It is a kind of a similar system that we have. If we have a very important thing to be locked in a box, then we put a locks. And ancient time we have a seal also. But now, of course, not many people use the seal. But of course, we use the digital locks or key or something, so that nobody will open it. That's the thing, the seal. And also seal is the indication that it's there. And people who has the key will be able to open it. And the key is, of course, the inner understanding.
Does your physical father is considered also a turtle?
To tell you the truth, I never realized this till very late, and he never says these kind of things. He's as common as us. And also, especially in front of me, he's just a small child. He never acts as a special person. And I've never thought. That's the reason I think I've never thought about it. But recently, one of my gurus said, "Do you know your father is a Tirtan? Do you know that? I hope you know that." And I said, "No, I don't know." I was very shocked. And he said, "Yes, he is a Tirtan. He found a lot of teachings, but he's hiding it. And we were wondering when he is going to teach this out in the public. I hope that he will teach this in his life, near future. And also he has a lot of items that he found, but you are the one who's supposed to be seeing them." I said, "No, I didn't see them. I don't know where my dad hide these things." And I really still wondering, but I didn't dare to ask him where these things are. "Could you just show me?" I didn't say that, because maybe this is not meant to be known. I don't know. So I don't like to break his secrecy.
Well, the next thing that we wanted to ask you is about the tulkus. You already explained for this filming. Before, there were just only two things about the tulkus that she wanted to know more. And of course, being Laura a woman, she wanted to know about if there are women tulkus.
Yes, there are many women tulkus. Actually, tulku means reincarnation, and generally speaking, everybody is tulku. You know, we all a reincarnation of any somebody. You know, so in that respect, of course, we all are incarnation. So of course, there's not a big problem. But specific tulku that we are talking about is divine reincarnation. And divine reincarnation, why not? Why not? There are many divine female. But of course, divine female can reincarnated as a female or as a male also. Divine female does not really need to be reincarnated as a female. No, that does not really need to be. And so therefore many tulkus are reincarnated from female. There are many female tulkus, and secretly, hiddenly, and also some of them are even coming up in publicly. It's a very good news. And with the changes of the time and also evolution, I would say, I think there will be a lot of female reincarnation, so-called tulku, will be there, and I think it will benefit many beings. I think as many as we male reincarnations does. I think we do quite a bit of job, but I think females, they can do better, I think.
It's possible to have tulkus in animals.
Definitely. From the point of view of Vajrayana and also Mahayana, or maybe Buddhist, entire Buddhist, I don't really know Hinayana can take it or not. I think Hinayana will not be able to take it, I think. But Mahayana and Vajrayana both, they believe that there is millions of billions of tulkus around in different forms. Some of them are butchers, some of them are even businessmen, some of them are doing all sorts of bad things, but they are tulku. Tulku doesn't really need to be always a proper and always whatever the way that we are looking at it. I mean, we think that the tulku has to be the proper, but then of course a certain tulku has to be proper because the people wants them to be proper, so they have to be proper. The tulkus are kind of a reflection of the people, so the people want them to be looking very proper, so then they have to be proper, they have to be acting as a proper. And wherever there is people, there is a bunch of people who really want you to be acting something nasty. Yeah, tulku must be acting that way too. But that is, they will, they will decide by themselves when they come. They will decide before they come from the Pure Land or wherever, the basic area where they're coming from.
So there's a possibility of finding Drukpa Karyu tulkus outside Tibet and India?
Oh yes, there is, but I don't know when and how.
Can you explain us a little bit what is the vision in your tradition about the oracles? What is the position, the importance of them?
It's the same as the one that you have in Mexico. the shaman people, they have a sort of spirit coming in their body, and then they talks about and all these things, they talks about several various things, and you become sort of transformed into that kind of spirit, and then you talks so completely different from what you are, and you know many things that we don't know while the spirit is inside. That is the oracle. That is very much similar.
When we were visiting Ladakh, we visit different oracles, and it seems that there are different levels in the oracles.
Oh yes.
Some that have like lower spirits coming to
Very
them,
much so.
and some even have a wrathful deities coming into them.
Very much so. Very much so.
So also depends in the level of development of the person, of the oracle itself, or himself.
No, oracle. There's nothing to do with the oracles. Of course, oracle the physically has to keep them very clean and purified, and also, how do you say, they have to be physically prepared. But mentally, maybe they need a little bit of preparation, but they don't really have to have a inner sort of understanding or realization. But speaking about the levels, that's levels of the the spirit. That is true. Many the kind of spirit you will get in. For instance, sometime just a ghost, and they really they are very harmful also to the oracle as well as for the audience also. It's very harmful. And some of them are just like a spirit, that is very common spirit of tree, water, mountains, sun, moon, that kind of spirit that comes to you. And it's kind of pleasant, it's just pleasant to have them around and talk and get some chit chat with them. It is really like a pleasant, I like that very much. They're very they're like a human being coming from another sort of planet, and they just talk, and they're very, they drink tea, beer, and sort of things, it's very casual. But overall, I don't like the scene of oracle very much, because firstly, this is not a Buddhist teaching anyway. It's just I don't know, it just came from some other kind of belief, and I don't know, and then it came into Buddhism, and people who are very much attached to these kind of materialistic world, they like this because they can tell you many things that you don't know, so therefore they like very much. But from the point of view of spirituality, this is not at all very inspiring anyway.
What is your vision of what is going to happen in the near future for us?
I don't really have very clear vision about this. Just only wish is a very strong I have. And the wish is that this spirituality, this spiritual movement grows and grows and grows in different manner. Maybe in Christian, maybe Buddhist, maybe Catholic, maybe Hindu people, in different manner. But it doesn't really need to be Buddhist. It doesn't really need to be Catholic. Anybody, but it's just anybody who ever believes whatever. I wish that the spiritual movement will grow in their heart, understanding. And then whatever they normally believe or they do will be more confirmed and more sort of firmly practiced, more understandingly practiced, more wisdom is, involved. And that is really the greatest wish of myself as a spiritual teacher.